terms of what's happening with COVID and how it's affecting the blockchain market, I think firstly in terms of market prices and the prices of crypto assets and Bitcoin, I think when the COVID situation first blew up on the social media and on the media outlets, and along with the other markets crashing down, that's where you saw the prices tumbling down and following suit with pretty much all other markets. I mean, previous to that, there was talks about Bitcoin and crypto being very lowly or negatively correlated to other assets, which is the case in normal market situations, but in extreme market situations like we saw with COVID, that was an exception to that rule, and we saw that even Bitcoin went down significantly in that period. But then, like other markets, it started to recover, and it's recovered to a good level at the moment. In terms of investing in blockchain and crypto-related startups, the strategy has always been for me and for Alphabet and whatever I do investment-wise, strategy's always been look for something that will be good for the long term, solves a problem, has a good team, has the right backing, has a lot of ticks on the checklist. So I think that strategy is pretty much the same, but maybe with COVID and the risk levels, you have to be a bit more cautious and a bit more aware of what you're investing in. However, I think there's still always a lot of opportunities, and there's always new markets that have developed because of COVID, and it's in a way COVID has accelerated the need for blockchain as well and the use of blockchain. So in terms of the actual technology, I think overall it's been a positive thing, and I think the people that have been building solutions on blockchain, using blockchain, that have helped with the requirements because of COVID, they've definitely seen an uptick, and they've definitely benefited from that. So yeah, I think in general for the market, it's been positive, and I think blockchain will very much still be at the forefront of especially financial solutions, banking, finance, supply chain, and all the use cases that have come up in relation to blockchain. So I think that will continue to happen.
That's great. It's good to know that it hasn't affected a lot. I know that you were saying you're being more picky when you choose what to invest in because of the risk factor, liquidity factors maybe, but you are still investing, which is a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to generate returns, then you should always be looking for opportunities, and especially when prices go down, that's
good time
really
to
when
buy.
Good time to buy, and also a good time to invest when everybody's everybody's selling and everybody's panicking. You should be brave, and in that case, fortune favors the brave. So there's
Saeed,
always opportunities.
I also wanted to go into another topic. ADGM, a year or more ago, they started, with the crypto and the virtual asset licensing, and we heard a lot of hype in terms of, soon there are going to be a lot of companies that are going to launch, virtual asset exchanges or custodians and so forth. But to this day, we haven't yet seen anyone launch officially. What do you think is hindering this? I mean, is it the fact that a UAE crypto law hasn't come out from SCA yet, or is it what's making it go so slow?
Yeah, so I think it's been mostly to do with how stringent the requirements have been from the regulator, from the FSRA, with respect to getting the full license. So it's actually a very exhaustive list of conditions that need to be met. And I think with the situation with funding not being liquidity and people being more cautious, I think funding has been an issue for some of these startups. But I think it's a combination of different things, combination of the slowdown because of COVID, combination of the requirements for actually meeting the conditions required for the license, the full licenses,
Mm-hmm.
and probably funding as well. So I think the regulator has wanted a perfect solution to be in place before issuing a full license.
Do you think they're too stringent, or I mean, they're just being careful?
No, I think in this, when it comes to regulation and protecting the interest of customers and investors, I think there's no harm in being cautious and taking your time and making sure you get it right the first time rather than getting it through quickly and then finding issues and trying to fix those issues at a later date.
Okay. And what do you think about there's the offshore. So ADGM is an offshore, regulatory licensor. But you also have onshore, the UAE, the central bank working with the SCA on virtual crypto asset law. Where do they stand so far on that?
I think they're still studying framework. They're still looking at how to come up with the best framework possible. I think
Mm-hmm.
they'll probably take their time with it. So I think it's probably till the end of this year, or maybe till next year, they'll come up with a solution. But they're actively studying it at the moment, with a view to coming up with a comprehensive framework in the next 6 months to a year, I think.
And Saeed, there's been a lot of talk about, central bank digital currencies. And one of the first country to even, start playing with that or start, working on that was the UAE and KSA with Abir. Um,
Mhm.
as well, since you're very well entrenched into what's going on, where is it today? Because I've heard that they're on the verge, they're in the final stages. But I don't know. You know better, maybe.
I think when it comes to the central bank digital currencies, I still think there's a long way to go. I think it's something that needs to be studied thoroughly with regards to the implications of introducing a central bank digital currency. I think the regulation needs to be put in place firstly, and then secondly, I think the central bank needs to be comfortable with how the currency is going to work,
Hmm.
what controls they'll have in place, which blockchain backbone they're going to use. They're going to have to do thorough testing with it. It's a very complicated and long process that I think will take a number of years before it's fully implemented.
Okay.
I
So
think what we
Abid
heard in
isn't
the,
coming on anytime soon.
I don't think so. I think what's come out in the media has been just a lot like talks of a pilot project coming out,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there's still not concrete work that's happened yet,
Okay.
and I think it's going to take several years before
Several
anything is
years.
finalized.
So
And the same thing goes with other central bank digital currencies.
what about China? I mean, they say they're starting to test it with different
Yeah,
entities in.
China, they said they've been talking about central bank digital currency for over a year now. So they are well and truly in the process of getting the central bank digital currencies. I think if there was to be a first to market when it comes to central bank digital currency, then it would be China
Mm-hmm.
because they're so progressive with technology and specifically with blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for example, they already have a kind of a digital payment in terms of WeChat payment.
Yeah.
So I think they're well advanced in it, but I'm not sure if it's going to be out as soon as people think it is. Maybe it will be in the testing phase at the moment, and then probably within a year or two, that's when we'll see the full launch of central bank digital currency from China.
Okay. Um. Okay, so when it comes to you per se, Saeed, you've been involved in a lot of projects. You're on advisory, different boards of different companies, and you've also created a new entity called eGovern. Can you tell me
Yes.
a little bit more about that? And And what will you be working on in specific?
Sure. So eGovern is the aim of eGovern is to provide blockchain solutions for large organizations such as governments and corporations that would like to use the technology to enhance its services and its activities. We're leveraging, myself and my partners are leveraging our network of solution providers that we know and that we believe have a very good solutions that have already been tested and have already been used and being used by several entities, and offering those to the different potential clients that we're talking to. And then also, being able to having that experience with the technology itself, being able to distinguish between the different solutions and identifying the business needs and the requirements of these potential clients and matching it with the right type of solution and the right provider that we have been thoroughly investigating and vetting and making sure that they have the right solution. So I think it's leveraging on what we've already been doing over the years, which is having the knowledge and know-how and the contacts and the network in the industry, and putting it to good use, and targeting specific large organizations and institutions when it comes to coming up with the right blockchain solutions to use in the market, and the latest and the most up-to-date solutions as well.
And do you currently have any clients that are already working with eGovern? And if so, is it only in the UAE or is it across GCC and other areas?
So we're talking to a couple of clients, potential clients in the UAE, another in the GCC, but our mandate is a global mandate. Mainly we're focusing on the Middle East and the GCC, North Africa and the Caribbean, the smaller kind of countries. But we're also talking to several different governments and the view to making agreements with them. But at the moment, our focus has actually been in building the right list of partners that we recommend to potential clients, so that we can come up with a list of products and services and solutions that are available that they can choose from, and making sure that it fits their requirements before we start approaching on a public wide-scale fashion other potential clients. So at the moment, we're talking to people privately and targeted approach, but our focus has mainly been to build our list of well-known and reliable partners to suggest to potential clients.
I mean, in the inside today, there are only like a handful of, a handful of blockchain solution providers that, have proven somehow from the spectrum. So I'm sure it would be something with, and each one has their own, niche that they work in well. So are you talking with the IBMs, the Ethereum R3, the ones that are out there, or have you gone to smaller, not well known?
It's more of the up and coming and newer partners that we're talking to, because the likes of Ethereum and the large providers out there, they already have been talking to several entities, and they already have established in-house solutions and people dedicated to business development and selling their products and services. So it's mainly the smaller, but nevertheless still considerable technology-backed companies that have solid solutions that we feel can compete with the likes of R3, Corda, IBM, or what have you, Ethereum, and all the bigger companies out there. But they're very significant in size nevertheless. So yeah, there's still a lot of solutions out there, and they may not be as widely known as the big names that you mentioned, but there's still some good solutions there that are good value for money.
Okay. Saeed, what was the name of the investment company that you're now this new one? God, I can't. Lead Ventures, yes. So what are you doing with them exactly?
So I'm their senior advisor when it comes to blockchain companies that they're working with.
Okay.
That's my focus for them. They have different advisors for different industries, different experience, different knowledge, and they've brought me on to help them with specifically with blockchain.
Okay. And have they started to do anything in the region?
Yeah, they have quite a number of companies that are talking to them and that want to come into the UAE and provide their products and services in the UAE, and the discussions are ongoing at the moment. So there is interest from outside companies that want to set up in the UAE, and that's what Lead Ventures is helping them with structuring their companies here, and also helping them with developing their business here as well.
In a nutshell, how do you see, so 2020 was a tough year with COVID and everything, and now we're in the middle of it. We're almost finished with it. But if you want to look at, the future, okay, how do you see this UAE still moving forward quickly and into the blockchain space, into digitization? Do you think that they will be able to attract the innovative startups and needed today, or how do you see this? Do you think trading crypto will go up, trading will increase? I don't know. I mean, where do you see this all going?
I think in terms of the infrastructure and ecosystem when it comes to blockchain, I think the UAE is definitely very proactive with promoting blockchain startups coming here, blockchain companies providing their services here. They're in terms of regulation, they're very proactive with regulation. The government is supporting blockchain on all levels. So I'm very confident that the progress will keep on increasing at a higher rate in the upcoming months and years. So I still very much think that even with the COVID situation, the UAE is definitely pressing on with being a hub in the Middle East and also globally in later years for blockchain technology. And I'm very excited about how things are developing here. And I'm doing my part to ensure that the UAE is seen as a serious jurisdiction for when it comes to blockchain and promoting blockchain and the ecosystem here and how it's helping with the economy as well. So I'm pretty confident that things will be moving forward as planned. I see a lot of good things happening, a lot of positive things coming out, and I'm still confident, even though it's been a tough year so far. But I think the next few years will be very much very exciting, and the UAE will definitely be up there in terms of the countries that are very proactive with the blockchain technology and technology in general.
Saeed, I want to thank you very much. Do you like to add anything from your own part? Is there anything you wanted to let us know? Let the Unlock leaders know?
No, thank you for arranging the interview, and happy to have shared my thoughts and insights. And I hope that people in the UAE try to learn as much as they can about blockchain and show an interest in blockchain. I'm very much looking forward to the future, and I hope everybody stays safe and healthy in these testing times.
Thank you very, very much, Saeed, and hope we talk again soon, and see you as well.